This loss will be found. I'll make your mind lose control. The only thing on your mind is sex and me, girl.
Grammy-nominated R&B singer Avant has experienced a life filled with twists of triumph and tragedy. Behind his smooth voice and romantic hits, there's a side of heartbreak, struggle, and resilience that the public doesn't know. Join us as we explore Avant's tragic life story, setbacks and triumphs. Avant's path to becoming an R&B star was anything but smooth. Despite his smooth vocals and successful hits on the music charts, there was a man battling to demonstrate his value in an industry that could be harsh. As his career started to take off, rumors also started to spread. Critics and skeptics were quick to criticize him for being a copycat of R. Kelly, claiming he was attempting to imitate the iconic singer's style. He was likened to R&B giants such as Joe and Brian McKnight, by some belittling him as a minor presence in their prominence. Some people even forecasted that he wouldn't survive, dismissing him as a passing fad. These comparisons were painful for Avant. The hushed conversations, the skeptical glances, and the uncertainties could have quickly eroded his self-assurance. Instead of giving up, Avant embraced his determination. He was determined not to allow the noise to divert his attention. He was Avant, not R. Kelly, Joe, or Brian McKnight. His goal was evident: to create his path and demonstrate to everyone that he was not simply imitating others, but a unique artist with his narrative. During the creation of his second album, Ecstasy, Avant faced challenges that tested his determination. The album contained the emotional, passionate songs that his supporters desired. However, MCA Records, the record company supporting him, did not share the same perspective. They considered the album unimpressive, stating that it was missing any hit songs. The Avant was left in a painful limbo when the label put it on a shelf. This was a crushing setback for an artist who had put his heart and soul into his work. The sense of being turned down felt like a personal attack, with the implication that his skills were not trusted. However, Avant did not dwell in disappointment. Instead, he decided to intensify his efforts. Although MCA was indecisive, Avant chose to take control of the situation. He had faith in his music's influence, and crucially, he had faith in the bond he shared with his fans. So, instead of going through the label, he directly sent the intimate song, Making Good Love, to radio stations. It was a risky decision, one that could have gone wrong. However, Avant relied on his intuition. The gamble was successful. Listeners immediately embraced the song, making it a surefire hit. After receiving numerous fan requests, radio stations were overwhelmed, leading MCA to finally release Ecstasy in 2002, despite facing delays. The success of the album demonstrated Avant's persistence and skill in overcoming obstacles in the competitive music industry. He had shown, not only to his record company, but to all observers, that he understood precisely what his fans desired. Despite his career success, he continued to face challenges. Not everyone in Cleveland was happy about his success. Some individuals from his past felt they deserved to benefit from his current success and wealth. Former friends and acquaintances felt that Avant owed them something, perhaps opportunities, acknowledgement, or even financial assistance. Avant, who had devoted himself to his career, was hit hard by the painful realization. He recognized the importance of loyalty, but he was aware that in order to progress, he must not allow local conflicts to hold him back. Before sticking with the team he had created, Avant made a difficult decision. The individuals who assisted him in creating his unique sound were vital to his achievements, and he wasn't going to compromise that to please others. Making the decision was difficult, but Avant remained focused on his upcoming time. He had reached a point where he was not going to allow resentment or guilt to hold him back. When it was time to unveil his third album, Private Room, Avant encountered another difficult challenge. Magic Johnson's struggling record label, which played a key role in his career launch, was fighting to survive. In the meantime, MCA, the record company supporting Magic's endeavors, had become unsure about their financial commitment. The delays and absence of support jeopardized Avant's progress, but he persisted in taking action. Following his previous strategy, Avant avoided dealing with record labels and instead appealed directly to his fans. He put out the song Read Your Mind exclusively to radio stations, and the reaction was incredible. The song reached the 5th spot on the Billboard R&B charts, showing that Avant could connect with his fans without depending on a troubled record label. His fans supported him as his music spoke for itself. Avant was successful in his career by 2003. However, the business side of the industry was still unstable. Geffen Records acquired MCA Records, leaving artists like Avant unsure of their future. During the changes, Avant decided to break ties with his manager of many years and join Capitol Records. Nevertheless, the collaboration did not last long. Avant eventually acknowledged that he lacked the time to determine how to make things function with Capitol. Avant continued to press on, not allowing obstacles to determine his path. He inked a deal with Verve, Forecast Records, and put out The Letter in 2010, followed by Face the Music in 2013. Both albums showed his consistent commitment to his art, featuring songs that deeply connected with his audience. A memorable moment from this time was his famous collaboration with Keke Wyatt on the song You and I. The hit not only reached the top of the charts, but also confirmed Avant's talent for producing emotional and enduring music. Despite facing criticism, label drama, and personal disappointments, Avant always remained focused on his purpose, but another tragedy was still on its way. Before we dive into the tragedies he faced during his career, let's take a look at the struggles he experienced in his childhood. Humble beginnings. Avant entered the world in April 26, 1978, in Cleveland, Ohio, to a life that lacked any glamour. He understood adversity from a young age. Avant grew up under the care of his mother, Alberta, who dedicated herself to working hard at a phone company to provide for him and his siblings, teaching him the importance of hard work. When Avant was only 12 years old, his father being imprisoned created an emptiness within the family, forcing Alberta to take on the responsibility of raising her kids by herself. In spite of these obstacles, music became a shining beacon in Avant's life, giving him hope and a feeling of direction. Since he was just 4 years old, Avant felt a strong attraction to the church, where he first realized the strength of his vocal abilities. Participating in the choir evolved into more than just a pastime. It became a sanctuary. Holding a microphone, Avant experienced the feeling of being part of something. Even as a young child, his voice already showcased an innate emotion and warmth that suggested the potential for future development. Motivated by icons such as the Levert Clan and Babyface, Avant started envisioning a future filled with fame. Avant saw himself on the path to greatness from Cleveland, inspired by these icons. Avant's family also played a role in igniting his passion for music. His uncle and older brothers were renowned entertainers in the nearby nightclub circuit, captivating crowds with their effortless singing and charisma. Observing them, Avant witnessed not only the praise they garnered, but also how they engaged with individuals through music. He thought to himself that he could also accomplish that. And soon, he was actively pursuing to turn that vision into reality. Nevertheless, there were challenges in life. Just like many other children, Avant had aspirations of becoming a professional athlete. He dedicated himself to sports, aiming to create a future in athletics. However, when he reached his maximum height, his dreams of excelling in sports also came to a halt. Avant did not allow the tough blow to keep him down for too long, despite the disappointment. He completely redirected his attention to music, a passion that had always been present in the background. In order to pursue his musical dreams, Avant worked difficult jobs at a packing company and a peanut factory. The job was exhausting and lacking in glamour, yet it instilled in him resilience and strengthened his determination. Each salary he received inched him nearer to his objective. For Avant, music was more than just a hobby. It was his means of escape, his passion, and his pathway to a better future. He viewed it not as a choice, but as his fate. Following his graduation from the Cleveland School of the Arts, Avant enthusiastically immersed himself in the music industry. He established a group named The Fellas, playing at talent shows and intimate gatherings. These shows were crucial milestones for Avant, helping him improve his skills and gain stage confidence. However, the pivotal moment occurred when he entered a recording studio for the very first time. Listening to his voice being replayed seemed like a moment of enlightenment. It affirmed his deep-rooted belief that music was his true passion. The grind continued without pause. Determined to pursue a full-time career in music, Avant put all his effort into his passion. The group provided him with an opportunity. However, it was evident to all listeners that Avant's voice stood out the most. It was impossible to overlook the distinctive depth and soulfulness of his singing. Despite being in a band, the world only heard about Avant. What happened to the other members of the Fellas? Solo, Leap, and Heartbreak. Avant's path to fame is marked by determination, heartbreak, and unexpected twists of destiny. The story started when Avant was performing with his band, The Fellas. They worked diligently to establish a reputation, but it's fair to say that the group was not fully reaching its potential. Their music did not have the flair to make them stand out from the others. Nevertheless, Avant's destiny took a different turn, all thanks to a surprising hero who discovered his secret skill. At that time, Avant's girlfriend had an uncle who owned the studio where the Fellas were recording. This particular uncle was more than just a regular studio owner. He possessed a sharp ability to recognize talent. Though the Fellas as a unit did not catch his eye, Avant shined brightly as a standout performer. The uncle noticed a unique charm in Avant that was impossible to overlook. He took Avant to the side and bluntly said to him, "What about the group?" "Not very much." "And what about you?" "You understand." This was a crucial moment. With the support of a believer in his abilities, Avant acted quickly without any doubt. He welcomed the chance to venture out on his own. It was time for him to emerge from the group's shadows and seize the spotlight for his own. As Avant embarked on his solo endeavor, news of his skill began to circulate. Eric Patton, manager of the famous R. Kelly, was one of the people who paid attention. Upon hearing Avant's smooth vocals and undeniable charm, Patton quickly contacted him. Before long, Avant was traveling to Chicago to lay down the track that would alter his destiny. I Wanna Know. This was not an ordinary song. It possessed that special quality, a mixture of sincere words and a tune that captured the listener's focus. When it debuted on Chicago radio, it was like catching lightning in a bottle. The track exploded in popularity, taking over the airwaves and igniting discussions everywhere. The newcomer with the velvety voice and profound emotions was the talk of the town. Avant's popularity was growing, and the music business was paying attention. However, when Avant's career was starting to do well, his personal life suddenly changed dramatically. His relationship with his girlfriend, who was the same one whose uncle had helped launch his solo career, reached a breaking point. The conflict intensified, leading her to ultimately break up with him. This breakup could have been very distressing for many individuals, particularly given the timing. What about Avant? He changed the plan. During a conversation with the Boombox, he disclosed that the breakup was, in his opinion, the greatest heartbreak ever. What is the reason for that? By pouring all the pain, frustration, and raw emotion into his music, he expressed himself. Rather than allowing heartbreak to hinder him, Avant turned it into inspiration to craft some of the most impactful, emotionally stirring lyrics of his music career. Songs that will continue to strike a chord with listeners for many years. His broken heart brought a newfound vulnerability and depth, which drew his fans in even more. How do you think Avant rose to fame? Was it just his talent, or was there something more at play? Rise to stardom. Avant's career soared after an MCA Records executive discovered I Wanna Know. The executive was immediately captivated. They acknowledged Avant's ability to emerge as a significant player in the R&B industry and quickly introduced him to Magic Johnson. During that period, Magic Johnson, the basketball star, was experimenting in the music business by creating his record label. Upon entering Magic's office, Avant could feel the electric atmosphere. Magic greeted him cheerfully and with a memorable line, "Hello, superstar." It was not just a greeting, it was a prediction. Magic noticed what everyone else was starting to see. Avant was meant for success. Magic wasted no time in signing Avant as the debut artist on his label. It was a significant moment for Avant, a courageous move towards securing his legacy in the music world. Avant released his first album, My Thoughts, in 2000 with the backing of Magic Johnson's label and MCA Records. The album quickly became popular due to two fiery singles, Separated and My First Love, featuring the amazing Keke Wyatt. Separated was a heart-wrenching song about heartbreak, whereas My First Love was a nostalgic ballad full of passion. These tracks joined forces to become unstoppable on the radio. Every time you tuned into the radio, you would inevitably hear Avant's velvety voice singing about love and heartbreak. His music had a knack for reaching deep into the soul, and his fans were always craving more. The album did not only achieve success through sales or chart rankings, it was also about forming a connection. Avant's skill in capturing emotions that resonate universally made his songs feel personal to all listeners. He wasn't only a vocalist, he was a narrator, crafting stories of heartache and desire that deeply connected with listeners. Avant quickly rose to fame in a meteoric manner, going from grinding with a struggling group to being personally selected by industry heavyweights. His journey proved the importance of perseverance and confidence in oneself. His anecdote serves as a reminder that life's twists and turns, including heartbreaks and setbacks, can ultimately guide us towards our fate. Once My Thoughts established his position in the R&B industry, Avant had transformed from a promising talent to a significant presence. His music impacted millions, his voice became legendary, and his career was only beginning. Despite these successes, challenges were always bound to arise. What setbacks did he face in his career, and how did they affect him? Overcoming the storm. Avant's path through fame, music, and the constantly judgmental public has been far from typical. In 2016, Avant became the focus of unwelcome scrutiny after a picture of him appearing heavier than usual spread rapidly online. The fast-judging internet transformed the picture into a flurry of memes mocking his looks. Many were unaware that the photo was just taken from a bad angle, and another image was later shared showing that Avant still appeared as he normally does. Nevertheless, the harm had already been inflicted. The internet is relentless in regards to first impressions, and once the memes began circulating, removing them became challenging. This moment was clearly painful for Avant. After putting in a lot of effort to stay relevant in the R&B industry, being made fun of for something trivial was a disappointment. However, he decided not to focus on the negative aspects. Instead, Avant relied on his usual determination. He understood that his value came from his music and relationship with his supporters, not online criticism. He maintained his concentration on producing, taking the moment as a cue for the rapid changes in public opinion. The difficulties did not stop there. In 2019, Avant encountered a more severe crisis when there were rumors circulating that he was very sick with lupus and only had a 6-month lifespan. His fan base was stunned by the news. Social media was filled with messages grieving what many thought was Avant's upcoming death. His fans, filled with sorrow, shared accolades and recollections, worried they were bidding farewell to one of the greatest voices in R&B. Nevertheless, the destructive rumors were proven to be incorrect. It was merely a deceitful prank. Avant's experience served as a clear example of how misinformation can quickly spread. Despite the stressful situation, Avant handled the rumors calmly. He chose not to let the hoax define him or his career, but instead redirected attention to his music, assuring fans that he was alive, healthy, and still very much active. In the same year, Avant later released the single Not Gonna Lose, which conveyed a profound message of strength. The song, filled with his distinctive sound, seemed like a statement to both his fans and critics. He had no plans of leaving. Although facing challenges, Avant remained resilient and used his struggles to create impactful music that resonated with his fans. At about the same time, he also started working on his 9th studio album through an agreement with the SRG ILS group, reinforcing his dedication to his art. Despite Avant's rocky journey, was he able to carve out a name for himself? What legacy did he leave behind? Avant's powerful legacy. Over time, Avant has solidified his position as one of the most familiar voices in 2000 R&B. Songs such as Separated, My First Love with Keke Wyatt, and Read Your Mind remain unforgettable for fans who matured listening to his soulful, heartfelt music. Despite changes in music trends and a decrease in attention on traditional R&B, Avant remained committed to his unique sound. Remaining faithful to his convictions, he trusted that genuine supporters would forever value the genuineness of his creations. Although Avant has faced difficulties in his career, he has also experienced notable accomplishments. He has achieved a career that many aspiring artists aspire to, with a net worth of approximately $4 million. His music has not only been successful in terms of popularity, but has also proven to be enduring over time, showcasing his skill and the emotional layers he incorporates into his songs. Partnerships, such as the one with Keke Wyatt in the song You and I, have solidified his position as a dominant force in R&B, demonstrating the special synergy he brings when working with the perfect collaborator. Avant goes beyond music and its influence. Throughout his years, he has utilized his platform to bring attention to the significance of education and to motivate others to pursue their dreams, regardless of the obstacles they may face. He has also experimented with reality television, making appearances on programs such as The Real Housewives of Atlanta and Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. These public appearances allowed supporters to see his life outside of work, revealing his character and skill in adapting to the changing entertainment industry. Nowadays, Avant is known for his soulful R&B music. Despite changing music trends, his music reminds listeners of a time when meaningful lyrics and soothing melodies were popular on the radio. Supporters still commemorate his impact on the genre, and his songs are still cherished by those who enjoy the early 2000 R&B era. Avant has faced challenges, but his commitment to his authentic sound has made a lasting impression on the music industry. While Avant keeps traveling, he becomes a symbol of determination, showing that despite obstacles, genuine commitment and fervor can help you succeed. His impact goes beyond a compilation of popular songs. It represents determination, skill, and the unwavering confidence in his capacity to overcome any obstacle. What do you think of the revelations about Avant's life? Let us know in the comments. If you want more interesting revelations, be sure to like, subscribe, and watch the next video shown on your screen. See you there.